Good day everyone, and welcome to this webinar. Today we are going to guide you through the installation setup for the new SAVIUS toolkit, which we call the SAVIUS Evolution toolkit. It's a new version. In this version we try to simplify the installation and the setup, so you don't have to download from Sierra a lot of chart books and to have many charts open at the same time. We're gonna simply apply a study, our custom study, to a chart, and everything is going to be in there with all the function, etc. But at the same time we're still gonna have the radar screen function, so we're still gonna be able to monitor a lot of symbols contemporaneously and check if there is any signal or pattern developing on any of these symbols. The first thing that we need to do is to find out what your username is in order for us to activate your license. You can find your username under the Help and About button. In case under the account name you see the Transact user, that means that you're not a Sierra Chart user, you're a Transact user, so you have to go and look under the File and Data Trace Service Settings, and under the username you will be able to find what we need for us to activate your license. Once you have that username, please just remember to put it on an email and send it to us saying, please, this is my username, please activate my license. Just as a reminder, you're gonna have 10 days of free trial for the tools, and after that you will have to pay whatever is the feed and the type of package that you're willing to pay for using our PayPal form. So suppose that you have received from us the email saying that your license is active, then at that point we can just go and open any chart. You can do that also directly from your Transact tab. You just go on the C4 chart and you open any chart, in this case that is crude. For the purpose of this example we are using crude on the 60-minute. We open the chart, we're going to apply a study, so we click on Analysis, Studies, and instead of using the set of studies available on Sierra Charts, which are many and useful, we just go directly on Add a Custom Study, and you will have a set of preloaded custom studies from Sierra, and you will find normally SAVIUS will be the third one on the list, and there you have all of our studies. To add the study, you just select it and click Add, and then you see it is in the studies, goes on the column, on the right column, the studies applied to the graph. You click on Apply and automatically you see it being applied to the chart. Then suppose we keep on adding studies, and we add them all. Now you've noticed I did not add the risk reward tool. That for a simple reason. Basically, right after we released our tool, Sierra Chart produced their own version, which you can find in the tools section of Sierra, and that is much more effective and nice from the graphic point of view. So we recommend using that one instead of our version, which anyway remains there at your full disposal. At the point we click on Apply, and everything automatically goes onto the chart. Okay, so now we're gonna go through all the different studies and indicators one by one. The first one I want to look into is the divergence. Divergence is going to be used mostly as a confirmation to certain situation or trading signals. Basically, this indicator spots a divergence between the direction of the price on the chart and a given oscillator. It's at this point then we need an oscillator to be applied on the chart. We can take out the average volume and we add, for example, Bill Williams Awesome Oscillator. Then we select the divergence, and then we go and set it, and from the first line from the oscillator we select the Bill Williams Awesome Oscillator, and we click on apply, so to study reference to this oscillator. And basically on the chart you will have some green trend lines and arrows to show you when you have a divergence between price and the oscillator. So we have the price trending down and we have the oscillator already trending up, so we're gonna give you a buy signal or a sell signal according if we are looking for a long or a short. To be frank, we are not using that ourselves as a pure entry, but it is part of the tools that we wanted to provide to our students and our juniors, and we think it's a useful indicator to have. Now for now, let's remove it. And let's apply back the average volume at time of the day. That basically is a normalized version of volume. This study looks at any time bar, for example the 1 AM bar or the 3 AM bar, or you can go also on a smaller time frame on a 10 minutes chart, and basically we compare that specific hour, that specific time bar, to the previous n number of sessions, and it's going to tell you if that bar has a volume which was it was above the average or below the average. So it's a comparison against the last 100 bars. Of course you have to set it, you can set it the way you want. If you go under the average time, average volume time of the day, you can go and click on the settings. For example, the default it goes to 20 sessions, but you can make it 100 sessions and click on apply, and that will smooth the average. So at that point you can check and you can see that basically, for example, this peak in volume that was almost 5 times bigger than the standard average bar at that time, so that was mean that there was a big push on the short side. Or for example, we at the moment were a bit under the average, which is represented by the yellow line. So basically you can make your considerations regarding what is going on. For example, here what is strange, we have a big jump in the up volume, a big push that was basically 8 times, 800%, 8 times the standard volume on this bar, but we don't have any push up. So that's the way you can read into the chart. So that's why it is useful to have it on the background. And now for now we can also take this out, so we keep our chart as clean as possible. For the SAVIUS reversion band, instead there's I'm gonna hide this one for a second. There's nothing really there to be edited. It's just a simple band that we're going to use with like kind of a moving average, so that we use it for two purposes: to as a place where to look for trend re-entries, for entering the direction of the trend, or to determining sometimes if there is a change in the trend. So it's a filter, and it's also used for trade re-entries. Now we're going to approach the second main tool together with the SAVIUS band. Is second indicator, which for us is very important. It is the market bias. The market bias, as you can see, you have it it will appear normally on your left hand side. Just a few words in case you are using the window chart, you might have it right above it and it would be impossible for you to move it. In that case, just uncheck the attach trade window to chart, and you can move both around and then eventually put your trading window back up. I'm gonna take it out as we don't need it at the moment. So basically you can move this around on your chart. You can make it fatter or thicker or smaller. It's basically, this is just a set of kind of a gauge, a thermometer of the market. It's just not purely a trend indicator. It's made of static and dynamic levels. It's made of 10 principles that are probably, we're going to issue a new version sometimes during the next few months, which is going to be even more sensible, but basically it moves in steps of 10%. So it gives you an idea of how intense a trend is, how strong a trend or a market move could be. In order for it to work properly, as one of the levels is the point of control, we're going to add the TPO value area studies to the chart. You will find it on the available studies. You just add it. You can click on hide if you don't want to see it. Then we select the market bias, and on the first line, the only line, it asks you the point of control reference, and you will have to select the TPO value area. That will change a bit your bias. Now it is also possible you can be willing to not to use the current point of control of the current sessions. Maybe you want to look at previous session 2 days ago. You know, there are many ways to use it, but that's the only level that we couldn't code, pre-code. So that's the only principle of the 10 principles that compose this market bias that you have to actually manually select. Okay, now we're going to go in the... Okay, so now we're gonna go into what's really the core of the toolkit, which is the trading study, which is the PMT, which stands for Pandora MetaTrader 2. We're gonna unhide it now. By clicking on settings, you will open this the settings tab with a lot of options, but don't worry, they're all pretty easy and understandable. So the first 6 rows refer to the type of entries we want to apply to the chart. The study includes 3 types of entries or 3 types of strategies. You can be willing to do only trend trading, momentum trading, let's say, only counter trade, or basically fade entries. So you can have all the signals all together on the chart, or simply having them one at a time, or two one and one off, etc. You can set it the way you want. Going down, you will find that basically you have the entry offset and stop offset. That refers to the entries. So you can decide how aggressive you want to be on the signal. If you want it to be very aggressive, you can put it at 0. If you want to and have maybe a larger or tighter stops, so that is number of ticks that will go below the previous bar. So you can be, you know, be conservative, so 1 tick, or a bit more, or have a bit more allowance to price movement, so maybe 5 ticks and stuff like that. This risk reward tool that you can enable or disable here, this option, it does not refer to the ability to calculate the potential of a trade on the chart. It's not the same as the Sierra chart tool. This tool simply simply suggests an entry point, a stop loss, and a target each time there is an entry. This function works for the trend trading and for the counter trend. The fade entry is a bit of a different animal and is going to be treated in a different way. So you can decide whether you want to know where we suggest the entry and the target, etc., or decide it your own. The trade window start and end, well, basically this simply is a switch to switch a strategy or on or off. To enable ante trading, basically you can decide either to see the signals on the chart and then decide yourself manually if you want to take them or not, or to have the strategy taking automatically the trade for you. In case your problem is, you know, clicking, is pulling the trigger, that may be a function that could be good for you. Then basically you have to turn that on. As soon as you click on apply, you can see that basically on the upper right hand side you have this label which was green before, and now it turned red, and it tells you that the auto trading strategy is enabled, and it tells you also what the position is. So the position at the moment is 0. it's important to have the position, the real position, and whatever it says here to be the same number. So in case you mess things up for some reason with orders, etc., we suggest you stop everything, you put everything back in line, and then once the numbers are corresponding, then you turn back on. For the strategy to work automatically, you don't only need to click on there, but you also need to be sure that under the trade management tab you enable the auto trading function, which is here. Okay, so now we go back to our PMT, and towards the end you will find the function which we thought was very useful, especially for those traders with little experience and tend to have entries in counter trend without actually knowing. So basically you have the bias in front of your eyes, you have it here, but still you can, be sure that the machine or the system does not suggest any trade or take any trade if it's against the trend. So you can set a filter, you turn the filter on, the filter will reference to the market bias, which you select from here, and then you can select your level of confidence. So for example, you can say I will not take the trade if the bias is not in my favor by at least 70% or 80% or 90%. The more you filter, the less trade you have, but in theory the more effective the trade should be. The last option, the SAVIUS fade order offset, as we will see shortly, it just refers to the sensitivity of the fade entries. For now we're gonna turn off the auto trading and the market bias, and we're gonna start looking into the fade entries. So for the fade entries to work, you're going to have enable the mean conversions and the SAVIUS fade. We click on apply and OK. Basically you see that there is a line, like kind of a green stair and red stair. They are following the SAVIUS band quite faithfully. You can decide how closely you want this line to follow the SAVIUS reversion band. This line represents the entry level. So basically the strategy will automatically, if you enable it, it will create an order, a limit order, which will sit here and move up and chase the price till you get eaten. You get hit by the price after a correction. So you will go along here, for example. When there is a long, you will see the price displayed on the chart. Now it is important to understand for this entry, this is the only entry which will not automatically generate a stop loss and a profit target. All other signals, if you turn the auto trading on, will automatically generate a stop loss and a profit target, but not this one. The reason is that fade is such a complicated type of entry, and not everybody likes to trade it in the same way. So some like to use a tick buffer based on volatility, some use it based on a previous level, etc. So we thought it was easier, at least at this stage, we find out a solution that could be good for everyone and for every signal, to have it customizable. So should you decide to use the auto trading option, just use the attached bracket orders. You can set a bracket from the trading menu here. You can decide how many ticks you want for profit and for stop loss. As usual, we support the idea of using a positive risk reward. So basically you will have the strategy generating for you the entries, and you will have the Sierra chart option generate you the bracket orders. So you will be okay. And just to give you an example of what I mean by changing the sensitivity, we can now change this SAVIUS fade order offset, which is now set to 5. We could set it to 20, and you will see automatically this green line and red lines changing. As you can see now, instead of waiting for the price to reconverge towards the mean, we are being much more aggressive, and we're buying and selling at the premium or a discount compared to where the line is. At the same time, we can be a bit more conservative and change it and make it actually negative if you want, and instead of being aggressive will be conservative, and the point is that in that way maybe we don't get taken. So according to the proper time frame that we're using or volatility, we can set it in the best way, in a way that we think it's best, and that is something that you have to look into according to the symbol that you're trading. Okay, now we're going to look into the momentum trading. We have we momentarily disable the fade. We look into the fractal, into the trend line breakout. So these entries, the fractal breakout and the trend line breakout, these are trend entries, momentum entries. So of course they work very well when the bias is strong and there is a proper trend. So the fractal breakout basically it's the breakout of a certain support, previous support or resistance area in the direction of the trend, which has a certain series of X requisites and filters. So we enter at the breakout of the level, like here on the short side, we break here, this level here on the short side, again we have another fractal, we break it on the short side, and so on and so forth. When it comes instead to the trend line breakout, basically the strategy automatically draws the trend line of a small correction as soon as it happens. So basically we want to enter as soon as the correction, the trend line of the correction is broken. It's broken by 5 ticks. So you will see automatically being generated on your chart a blue line for upward corrections in the downtrend and an orange line for downward correction in an uptrend. So we'll be looking to short the blue line if we are below the SAVIUS reversion band. So we will be shorting the breakout of the blue line, or we'll be buying the breakout of the orange line if we are above the SAVIUS reversion band. Okay, now we're going to go into the last two signals. So we're going to momentarily to enable the breakout failure, P of failure, and the divergent reversal. We're going to set everything else off. Click on apply. Apply and OK. So basically both of the counter signals are very rare. Our philosophy is not to trade in counter trend. We don't like it at all. So we try to be very conservative when we're looking for a counter trend trade. The breakout failure works as a retest of a certain level and an inversion, so it's kind of a double top, double bottom according to certain symbols, while the divergent reversal is based on the classical reversal concept, but the reversal has a series of characteristics to make it, let's say, to make these signals very rare, but in theory very, very good and very successful. Well, okay, here I switch to a lower time frame, and for example we have two signals. This is a breakout failure on the upside, which was long here, and then we have a breakout failure on the downside, so we have a short. We don't have any divergent reversal. I'll go, okay, here we have another breakout failure on the upside. I'll go a bit backwards, let's see, maybe reducing to 5 minutes we can find a divergent reversal, but the divergent reversal is very, okay, this actually was both signals. These signals was a breakout failure, but was also a divergent reversal down. So you will see the red dot, and we will have an entry at the breakout of the down on the short side. What is also important to understand is that basically once you have set up a single chart the way you want, like we set up our crude, we put, suppose, all the indicators that we're using, oscillators and everything, you don't need to do everything again. You just simply go and right click on the symbol and you go on duplicate chart, and automatically you will have another chart open with everything as that you put in there. And then by clicking on CS chart settings, you can simply change the symbol. Suppose you want, I don't know, for example, ES. Click on apply. And we are loading ES, and all the signals are in there too. Okay, now we don't have any signal for now, but for example we can then decide that we want to see more signals on ES. We can turn on everything on. And the good thing is that basically you can use this study on many different symbols and time frames, and you can be watching and monitoring contemporaneously thanks to the radar screen. Now, each time you apply the study to a certain symbol, while you apply the PMT study, that symbol goes automatically and gets listed into the SAVIUS radar. The SAVIUS radar will appear like a separate window that you can drag and drop. You can keep it on the chart, but you can also put it away and have it on a separate screen. So you put it in a place that it doesn't bother you, or you can simply take the chart off and look only into that, and it will signal as soon as you have a trading signal coming out from somewhere. You will have a flag coming out to here. So for example, suppose we want to duplicate the chart a few more times. As you can see, automatically it gets added to the radar, and then we can go here and change it and make it whatever we like. Suppose Japanese yen, for example. And we do it again here, and here we make it, I don't know, dollar index. And automatically you have them all listed here. So you can have it on different time frames and different symbols, and you can also keep this one closed and have here, for example, 20-30 signals, and say, okay, I have a signal here, I have a trend line breakout, I have a fade, I have a valid fractal. I go and check. You go and check if the signal is good, you take it or not. Or you can decide that you want the machine to trade for you. I mean, these tools can be used in many different ways. Now, these tools represent the way that we trade, our philosophy. Then, of course, if you want to understand the full philosophy which is behind, you will have to go to one of our courses. There's gonna be more trading videos coming where you see the tools used in practice. Of course we're sure about what we're selling because it's good sense and common sense, and it doesn't mean that they will be making money for you as soon as you turn them on. I mean, you can be driving a Ferrari, but that will make you Michael Schumacher or Senna or whatever. But these tools can really make the difference, can help you, for example, with the bias to sit on the right side on the market, could help you spot the good trading signals, and help you, for example, for those who have problem in triggering, pulling the trigger, and can help you trading and be in a position, can suggest you how to have a positive risk reward. I mean, there are a lot of things that are common mistakes that junior traders do, and that these signals and these tools will keep you on the right side. And I think they are quite simple. They're not sophisticated things. There is like a kind of a gauge, there is a moving average, kind of, even if it's not a moving average, something different. There are some buy and sell signals. It's something very easy and useful. Then of course we're gonna come out with some more complicated tools during the course of the year, but you know, each level has its own tool. So my suggestion would be to learn to use larger time frame, maybe learn how to use one technique properly, and use that one and test it. And the strategy were not conceived to work on their own. If we try them, they work anyway, but they work better if they are managed by human beings, as we believe that human beings can be the machines. So you can be managing the strategy and optimize and make the best use out of it. So that's all, folks. That was our introduction webinar. Wanted to give you just a few hints about how to use the tools. Of course, for those who tried, there is also the PDF at disposal. We're gonna create a specific path for which we're gonna call systematic trader. So it's gonna be a specific path for those who wants to learn and trade using these tools. So it's gonna be a course coming out in the following months. We're gonna post some videos on our YouTube channel where we're gonna actually trade live with the tools. And there is gonna be probably also a good initiative with Infinity regarding these tools. So stay tuned, stay with us, and in case you have any doubts, please get in touch. Thank you very much, and good trading and good luck. Bye bye.